Hi guys, in this image we will be processing the M51 Galaxy, which is also called the Whirlpool Galaxy. Okay, now I have already stacked, I've already aligned and stacked these images in PixInsight. I don't have a deep sky stacker, and that is one reason I used PixInsight, but it shouldn't matter. You can stack them in any software you like and open that in Photoshop. Make sure when you save it as a TIFF file, which is the raw compression. Now, once you have it in Photoshop, this is what you'll see, a really dark image. Now, just to see what is happening in the image, you can apply a curves adjustment. So you go that, and just pull the curves all the way up. And okay, so that is where the main image is. So what I'm going to do is, because everything else is really crap, I'm going to delete it. So I'm just going to crop that somewhere there. I would leave some room for breathing, and yeah, somewhere there. Okay, once that's done, I will zoom into the image, and that is the main image. Now I really don't need that curves adjustment layer, so I'll delete it and duplicate this layer. Okay, once I have done that, I will start stretching the image. So to do that, I will use a curves adjustment layer and just click on this icon and start stretching the image slightly. Not that. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so start stretching the image. Now, when you stretch the image, just make sure you're not clipping any white pixels. So just make sure it's not touching right to the roof. Okay, so that will do. Now you can see that has started lifting out some details. Now I'll keep doing this until I'm happy with how the image is stretched. So I'll go curves again, do that, which is calculate a more accurate histogram. Okay, that, and okay, now let's do that. Okay, and just pull that down and pull that down, and do it once more. And calculate and do that. Okay, so I think I am happy with how that image has been stretched. I'll also bring that dark point there, and bring it down a bit, and do that. Okay, so once I'm happy with that image, I am going to press Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E to create a stamp visible layer. And once I have done that, I will start playing with the levels to make the background sky a lot darker. So I'm going to go levels, and as you can see, there's quite a bit before any data starts. So I'm just going to go that, and instead of applying it to the RGB channels, I'm going to go do the individual channels. So I'm going to go red, green, and blue. So you can see it gives a more accurate image, or I can just go auto. That does not really work, but it does sometimes, but I'll just go Ctrl-Z. Okay, so I've got a more accurate background color now. So once I have done that, I will again, so you can see the difference. Once I've done that, I will create another stamp visible layer, and then go into the curves again, and click that first, and make the image a bit darker. Okay, and just lift the shadows. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now the stamp visible layer. I just keep making stamp visible layers so I can just work on the actual image and not worry about the layers. I can at this point delete all these layers. Yeah, just make sure you're happy before you do that. Otherwise, you can always go into history and come back to that layer. Okay, so now that I'm happy with this image, I am going to duplicate it. So I'm duplicating it, so I am working on the duplicate copy and not doing anything to the original. So at any point, if I don't like it, I can delete and start working again. Now, what I'm going to do is, because you're using Photoshop, you should be able to use the camera raw filter. Once you do that, I am going to change the temperature to a little cooler one. Okay, somewhere there, and increase the contrast. Reduce the highlights so I can see the core of the image, so I can just go that, but that's too much, so I'll just go really slightly, and then increase the shadows, increase the white so the core of the image is more visible. Yeah, it's more well, it just creates a more impactful core. So somewhere there, and make the image a bit darker. Okay, somewhere, something like that. Okay, once I'm happy with that, I'm going to increase some clarity, some vibration, vibrance, and some saturation. Okay, so once I'm happy with that, I will go into the noise reduction and increase the color noise reduction to almost 60. So what it's going to do is it will just remove any of that purple color noise. You see, that is the color noise. If I get that, it will just remove it. Okay, so I can keep the color details, do noise reduction. Okay, now you can see the image has gone a lot smoother, but we want to retain some sharpness, so I'm going to apply a use my sharpness filter and mask it just to the galaxy, somewhere there. I want to keep my details. Okay, so that is looking much better. And now I can just go increase a little exposure. Okay, that is looking much better now, and once I'm happy, I'll go okay. You can see the difference. So once I've done that, now I will create another copy. Now you see there were some dead pixels around, so I want to delete them. So I can just go spot healing brush, use a small brush and go that. Now because there are no stars around, it should be easy to remove all them. Now this will be tricky, so I just use a small brush and go spot by spot. Okay, so that's much better. And this one here. Okay, so we have removed all those. And once we have done that, recently Canon, sorry, not Canon, Google made the Nick collection freely available to everyone. So I've installed it, and that is it's a really helpful tool. So you can go to Color Effects Pro and come to the Brilliance Warmth panel. I can see I will just reset this by double clicking. Okay, now I want this image to be a little cooler, and increase the saturation. Somewhere there, and increase the perceptual saturation, such as that, and go add and be okay. Okay, so something like that. And now you see the image has gone a little purple. So what I'm going to do is go color balance, go shadows, and add some green to cancel out the magenta, somewhere there. You should see that it has removed the magenta, but I will reduce that by a little, 60%. So it's really slightly okay. So once I'm happy with that, I will go brightness and contrast, increase the brightness by a bit, increase the contrast, and go to my hue saturations and just add a little saturation to it, and that's it. And I will probably be happy with that image. So that is just a quick quick tutorial on how you process your images. So basically you apply multiple curves adjustment to stretch your image, and once you're happy, that is where you start processing your images. So we went from this image with the initial curves adjustment layer, and then did some color correction and processing using raw filter, and then cleaned out the dead pixels and applied a color saturation, the Nick collection brilliance and warmth, and then a color balance, a brightness and contrast, and a hue saturation. So, and that's it, and this should be your image. Thank you.